Hello and welcome to our module on step 3 of the Perennial decision-making tool. In this module, we will briefly review the purpose of step 3, stakeholder engagement. This will include an overview, a look at the prompts in the step as written on the tool, as well as some implementation tips. Hopefully, this will further your understanding of the tool and is a link to steps 1 and 2, culminating into identifying strategies and actions in step 4. Again, this is the representation of the full tool. As a reminder, the tool is meant to be a resource that guides major decision-making that infuses a deliberate set of process steps for excellence, equity, and continual improvement. In this session, we will isolate the third step in the process, stakeholder engagement. Engaging stakeholders is dearly important and often is underutilized in planning. Many take stakeholder analysis for granted or some sort of box to check. This is a misstep, as stakeholder engagement is quite possibly the most important step in a planning process, especially when applying a lens of equity. This is an opportunity to understand the lay of the land, so to speak. It is where you can get feedback before you solidify your plan and also inform some of the strategies you're going to need to consider to make the plan successful. The prompts in this section will get you to think deeply about who you're engaging. This is important not only to get the acclamation of folks who currently have control and power in wherever you're trying to implement your initiative, but also, and even more importantly, the acclamation of folks who usually are most affected by the issues surrounding the initiative, but are often not consulted with. These are the prompts and questions that you'll find directly on the tool in stakeholder engagement step 3. How do important stakeholders currently experience or connect to the issues surrounding the initiative, and what are their thoughts moving forward? So that's the broad question. Underneath that, we have which internal, external stakeholders need to be engaged when considering and shaping the proposal. Who are the stakeholders that are potentially most impacted by the initiative, especially those from historically marginalized communities? How are we going to engage these stakeholders to understand current and desired impact from their lenses, right? So how are we going to go about getting the voices and the opinions and the thoughts of our different stakeholders? And what has our engagement told us about the current and potentially positive and or negative impacts, both in the aggregate and for different groups? So that analysis at the end around, what have our stakeholders told us in our summary. Important things to note when thinking about stakeholder engagement. One, definitely think about those internal and external stakeholders that are directly or indirectly involved in the initiative. Explore the feedback that may already exist in your organization or broadly in the public sphere. Sometimes you can already have folks' opinions on certain issues. Some engagement is better than no engagement, right? So even if you are pinched for time, there are ways you can get some engagement done, even though it might not be ideal. And one of those strategies is having kind of brokers from different stakeholder groups that you can call on and trust that they know what might be going on with the full stakeholder group. And then fourth, getting honest feedback across these stakeholders will be highly consequential as you solidify your strategies and action plan in step 4 and create your implementation plan in step 5, right? These first 3 steps, a big part of that should really connect directly to the strategies that you are going to embark on, because it'll let you know what's going on in the context so that you can be more planful and make more specific strategies. That's it for the mini module on step 3, stakeholder engagement. The next module will be step number 4, where you actually start thinking about and writing your proposal, which you're actually going to do. And so that'll be the next module up. As a reminder, if you're interested in diving deeper with things like professional development or strategic support, feel free to reach out. Our email is info@perennialed.com. With that, thank you, and we'll see you at the next module.